So it is now Monday. I'm here at Keleti railway station. There's some engineering work going on. I was told the station was closed. It's actually not. There's just a limited service coming out of it. I'm actually going to Kelenföld. Now most people, if you're going from Keleti to Kelenföld, you would just hop on the Metro 4. Trains out of here, a lot of them do go to Kelenföld, but they're mostly pick-up only. So there's only 6 or 7 trains per day that actually allow you to get on at Keleti, get off at Kelenföld, which is slower than taking the Metro, but we're doing it anyway, because why not? Hello YouTube, I'm at Keleti today. I was originally planning to do an episode at Kelenföld, but I'm taking the train to Kelenföld from Keleti, and I'm a bit early, so I'm going to do some train spotting here as well. Welcome to a double episode of train spotting in Budapest. That there is a Euro Sprinter, an OBB one, I think, but it's in a kind of Hungarian-German livery. If I remember correctly, that, in fact, I don't know, no, it might not be the same one. There was a train with a similar livery, which hauled the sleeper train in from Munich, back when I took it in 2013.
And there they are! See ya!
In fact, those do in fact look like sleeper cars to me, just kind of sitting there. This is my train to Kelenföld. It's a fast train all the way to Szombathely, but it's one of the very few trains, there's about 6 or 7 that actually let you travel from Keleti to Kelenföld. Most of them are just pick-up only at Kelenföld. Any sane person would take the Metro 4, but I'm not. So this loco's at tracks, 48017, and this one's a Stadler Flirts. But I'm sure you're already sick of Stadler Flirts. Those sleeper coaches are heading out. So behind it, some other coaches just pulled in, some dark blue coaches. They don't look like Hungarian coaches to me. My best guess would be Serbian coaches. Here comes a RailJet train. Budapest's only real super long distance semi-high speed service, although obviously there are no high speed tracks anywhere around here. It's got the loco on the front, so this is a driving passenger trailer. All the way from Munich. sprinter on the back. Last time it took me the whole of 2 episodes to see one, and it was the very last train we saw, so perhaps it's a signal I should just go home now. Or maybe we can go to Kelenföld and probably see this same train leave back towards Munich. So I'm now on the train. Let's go to the second half of this episode in Kelenföld.
rögtön a legelső az totál. Nem.
Track sled train off to Szombathely, which I just got off. I got on at Keleti. One of the few through trains that you can get. There's the Stadler Flirts, of course. So Kelenföld is a bit of a split station. You have the line off to Keleti, which is on the left side, but it ducks under and then goes right. So basically all the long distance trains that come through here go to Keleti, and all the short distance trains go to Déli, including all the Budapest trains. Whilst on board the... Shut up. So whilst on board the train, I think I figured out why there are exactly... So whilst on board the train, I realised exactly why there are about exactly 7 or 8 trains that let you travel from Keleti to Kelenföld. And that's because, unbeknown to me until now, there's actually a station in between the two, known as Ferencváros. It doesn't look very well used. It seems to be the kind of Ardwick of Budapest, and I think those 7 or 8 trains are the only trains per day that stop in Ferencváros. So any train that stops in Ferencváros will allow you to travel from Keleti to Kelenföld. All the rest, including all the RailJet trains, are just pick-up only at Kelenföld. So they do stop here, but you can't buy a ticket that lets you use it to get to Kelenföld. So part of the reason I wanted to travel by train from Keleti to Kelenföld is because you cross the Danube, and I would think you can get a good view of inner Budapest. Unfortunately, there's a road bridge right next to the railway bridge, so you actually don't get to see any of inner Budapest at all, which I was rather annoyed about. You can see out the other side, but there's not much immediately south to see from the river. So perhaps the road is the best way to see the view from that bridge. Or the tram 1, incidentally, which runs along it at that point. Stadler Flirts, obviously. Off to Oroszlány. Almost the Hungarian word for lion, but not quite.
S36-os személyvonat érkezik Kőbánya Kispest felől a 7. vágányra és indul tovább Érd alsón át
So anyway, I'm at Kelenföld. I'm going to spend about an hour here. So I've decided to combine the 2 episodes because we didn't see that much at Keleti. There's probably more to see here actually, because everything at Keleti is stationary. There's a lot of carriages to see, but they're not that interesting stationary. While as here, everything comes through and you see most of Keleti and all of Déli's traffic.
A vonatra gyors vonati pótjegyváltása kötelező. A kijelölt 5-ös számú intercity kocsiban pót és helyjegyváltása kötelező. A pót és helyjegy köteles, valamint a kerékpárszállító kocsi a vonat elején található, melyben kerékpár helyjegyváltása kötelező.
Service to Kőbánya Kispest. So there are a few trains, commuter trains, that don't go to any of the major termini at all, but go to Kőbánya Kispest, which is the closest railway station to the airport, and that also calls at Ferencváros, so there you go, it has some other services. Meanwhile, there's an interesting Kékulám North Shore Balaton service, but it's continuing all the way to Szombathely through Balatonfüred and Tapolca. Tapolca is where most of the North Balaton expresses end. Most of the stoppers, the Katica, only go as far as Füred. But this one goes all the way to Szombathely. A lot of the time with more the kind of medium distance trains, such as the North Balaton shoreline, you have one intercity coach, which is air conditioned, a bit nicer, you can pay a little more to get it, or just the regular blue coaches further back, as you can see here.
Személyvonat érkezik Kőbánya Kispest felől a 7. vágányra és indul tovább Érd-alsón át Martonvásár állomásra. A vonat minden állomáson és megállóhelyen megáll.
Stadler Flirts, obviously. Heading into Déli Pályaudvar. There's no distinction between the red and blue ones, by the way. The red ones are just the earlier batches, and the blue ones are slightly newer, but they're the same type of train, as far as I'm aware. There goes the Kékulám to Szombathely via the Balaton North Shore. Wait, that's not the Balaton train, because it's electric. What am I saying? Balaton North line is diesel, so I have no idea what that train was actually. That can't be a Kékulám, unless they're changing the loco at Székesfehérvár or something, which would be weird. It definitely seemed from the announcements that that was the Szombathely train. Here's a freight train. Plenty of freight through lines, and yet it comes past a passenger platform anyway. Seems to take after Crewe. Maybe it's just the way the junctions are aligned. Maybe these 2 platforms are the only ones that give access to Keleti and all the rest are for Déli. Is that possible? Oh no, that train I think has come from Kőbánya Kispest, so it's come through the Keleti lines and it's gone up to those platforms. So no, you can access the 3 tracks. So that announcement just said that the train to Pécs, because the line to Pécs is currently being Ooh, it's in English. At least it's kind of in English. Honestly, the Hungarian is easier for me to understand than the really thick accented English. Couldn't they hire Atos An or something? Oh, I'd love to hear Atos An try and pronounce Hungarian stations. That would be hilarious. So yeah, the trains to Pécs are partly replaced by buses, so you have to get a bus from here to some halfway point, and then from there you can get a train. I know that because one of my cousins is in Pécs University, and she travelled up to see us for a bit and then had to get back down. It's been a slightly more of a pain than usual. So that red train, the red Stadler Flirts, has come from Kőbánya Kispest. It's now heading to Martonvásár, and that blue one is heading to Kőbánya Kispest. And then that old train behind it, I don't actually know. Oh yeah, that might be the train to somewhere via Veszprém. Veszprém is the nearest major city to the North Balkan line, but it's in a totally different bit of track, kind of parallel to the north, separating at Székesfehérvár. That's probably what that is. Huh? Also, I'm right next to a bunch of oil carrying, I don't know what you call them, cars. Anyway, the point is it smells of petrol. Oh, and it heard me. It's now just left. I think there's a Eurosprinter on the front, you can just about see. Hopefully it will smell less of petrol. There goes the train to somewhere. That's the train which I think goes via Veszprém to somewhere. I didn't catch where it was going, but I remember it's going via Veszprém. There's a train to Sopron coming in on platform 15, which I think might be a Gisev train. Is delayed 5. Brilliant. Is delayed 5. 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 years. Yeah, it's 5 minutes, but still.
Sás and Szentgyőri station. The train substitute bus and intercity train are only available with intercity train supplementary tickets. Train tickets are valid for the substitute bus while bicycle transportation is not available.
This announcement sounds more Russian than Hungarian, to be honest. Here's a Katitas train. We actually didn't see any of these last year in any of our Budapest Trainspotting episodes. They're only every 2 hours on the Balaton line. This one's come from Füred.
Budapest déli pályaudvar felől a 6. pályára és indul tovább Győr állomásra. A vonat minden állomáson és megállóhelyen megáll. Pest-Tízes személyvonat érkezik Budapest déli pályaudvar felől a 6. pályára és indul tovább Győr állomásra. A vonat minden állomáson és megállóhelyen megáll.
Train coming into Budapest daily. Meanwhile, behind it, older train is coming in. Also, probably heading into Daly. Well, that's interesting. The train to Sopron has GSEF coaches, but a MAV loco and other tracks. I don't understand why. So who operates the train? That's kind of confusing. I guess both. One supplies the loco, the other supplies the carriages. But why? They changed the loco en route? Who knows? Service to Sopron, MAV loco, but GSEV coaches. GSEV, or Raboban, if you probably know it as, is a joint Hungarian-Austrian operation. It's based in Sopron, and it kind of does the kind of border region. But they couldn't agree on a name, so there's a name in Hungarian, GSEV being kind of short for Győr, Sopron and Ebenfurth, which is in Austria, and Rab is the name of the city, the river, sorry, which flows through Győr, which in German is also Rab. And we have a similar train coming in the opposite direction. That looks like a Euro Sprinter, but who's operating it? That is not a familiar looking livery. It is MAV, it's just not the standard MAV livery for a Eurosprinter. Or maybe they're repainting it. The standard one looks dreadful because it makes the new locos look really, really old. Same with the Trax ones. This one is in celebration of 150 years of something. I swear those doors opened before the train actually finished moving. Stadler Flirts to Dieu. Obviously. Stadler Flirts to Budapest daily. Probably from Dieu. Train dispatch safety is definitely a bit more lax here than in the UK. The dispatcher blows the whistle and then immediately the train starts moving, and then as it starts moving the guard's door closes, and not in the UK where all the doors have to be closed before the train's engine even goes up to start moving. I think perhaps the slightly laxer version is more efficient time-wise. Depends what your priorities are, I suppose. Not that the Hungarian railway is known for punctuality. Interestingly, Eurosprinters, the last time I filmed a Eurosprinter leaving Kelenföld, sleeper train made that do 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 noise. This one didn't. Maybe there are various engines that Eurosprinters have. Here's another Stadler Flirt, obviously. I'm guessing it's going into Daly. Meanwhile, an international service to Zagreb is approaching, but it's coming in from Daly, not Keleti, interestingly enough. I would think if it's an international service it would come from Keleti, but maybe not. Seems to be coming in from Daly because it's going all the way over at platform 3. I don't think it'll look particularly unusual because I think it'll just be a standard looking MAV train, but it does go all the way to Zagreb, which is kind of exciting, isn't it? There's a Stadler Flirt, but something tells me that is not the Zagreb train. I would be surprised. That train on the right seems to also be heading to Kőbánya-Kiskes. Didn't realise they were that frequent. Somebody in my comment section last year pointed out that this is in fact a Taurus loco, and they're right, but a Taurus is just a type of Eurosprinter. I've just become accustomed to just calling them Eurosprinters. But yes, Eurosprinter is actually a lot wider than just this type of loco, but I don't think you see any others in Budapest other than the Tauruses. So as far as Budapest is concerned, they are pretty much interchangeable. Coming in on platform 7 is a stopping service to Székesfehérvár, calling at all stations to Székesfehérvár, including along Velence, which is a smaller lake. The Balaton North Side trains only pass the Velence stations, they do not stop. Presumably because otherwise they would get too crowded with 2 lakes worth of travellers. I think this might be the Székesfehérvár train. Don't know where it's coming from. that going into 7? Yeah, that is 7. I only just noticed that it goes from 7 to 10. Where are 8 and 9? Have you seen these platforms? 10 forint reward. That's not a lot, by the way. So that's either coming from Keleti or Hungarian Budapest. It's actually not, I take it back, it's not an all stations stopper. It's a most stations stopper. Shunter's coming back. It's like ugly little thing, isn't it? Stadler Flirts, obviously. Heading off for Hungarian Budapest. Triple Stadler Flirts, Budapest Daily. And here's another one coming from Daily, just a double methinks. Oh no, also a triple. And it's going somewhere with a long name. Duna Ujváros. And I'm not sure if it's going because it shows via as well. I don't know where it's going. Yeah, Duna Ujváros via somewhere else. Another noticeable feature in regards to the slightly more lax safety is that whilst there is obviously an underpass for passengers to use, the train dispatchers do regularly just walk along the tracks to get from platform to platform. But nothing is coming through at any particularly high speed, so wouldn't be the same as doing it at, say, Doncaster. Stadler Flirts to Duna Ujváros, or Danube New City. Sounds very much like some Soviet-era planned town, and that's probably because that's exactly what it is. RailJet service to München Hauptbahnhof through Vienna, with a Euro Sprinter Taurus at the front, coming in at a bit of a speed. same set we saw earlier, I believe, because where else would it have come from? Oh, it's got a name. It's the Spirit of Zurich, which is ironic because it's not going to Zurich. I think there's one through day train RailJet service from Budapest to Zurich and back, and then there's also the night train, which we went on last summer. Not quite as comfortable, I'm sure. There's the stopper to Székesfehérvár, which actually doesn't call everywhere, but it calls in some stations. Meanwhile, here's the RailJet off to München. This one did give a kind of do-do-do-do-do sound, but it felt a bit half-assed. There's another RailJet train which is supposed to depart around about now, but it's... Oh, they actually said minutes this time. Yeah. So I might stay another 20 minutes just to catch this other RailJet coming in from Munich. There's another Stadler Flirts to Oroslány via Tatabánya. Service to Záhony. Quite an old train, this one, still got compartments. So this train stops at Ferencváros, but then it seems to continue away from Budapest to Szolnok and Záhony. Meanwhile, oh wait, look at this, it stops at Ferihegyi, which used to serve the airport. It now serves the abandoned Terminal 1, and Terminal 2 is on the other side of the runway, so it's a bit useless. You can get a bus. Oh, it goes to Debrecen as well. And it started at Topolca. Meanwhile, there's another Stadler Flirts. So they just announced the train to Szombathely, which is also part replaced by a bus. This train has come from Topolca and will continue right through Budapest and on right up to northeastern Hungary. So it is quite a long. This is the kind of cross-country train of Hungary. I've never actually been eastwards of Budapest before, so the whole kind of eastern half of Hungary, which is where this train goes, is totally unexplored for me. Maybe I'll hop on, or maybe I won't, because I don't have valid ticket or my stuff with me, or a place to stay, and I've got a flight to Dubai tomorrow, so it's probably a bad idea. Oh, and off it goes. That didn't stay for very long. Stadler Flirts from Dunajváros to Budapest. That over there, I believe, was a Vectron logo. Stadler Flirts adieu. RailJet service arriving from München Hauptbahnhof will continue to Keleti, but you can't get on here, it's set down only. Unlike the last one, this has both a dedicated quiet zone and a dedicated family zone. Maybe there's one of those little indoor playgrounds on board. Stadler Flirts to Kőbánya Kispest. I think I'm done for today. One of the good spots we had last year, which we didn't have this year unfortunately, was a Floyd train loco. Which is actually, as I only found out about 4 months afterwards, is an exported British Rail 86. And it does some freight runs in Hungary. If you want to see it, watch the previous episode. I'm not waiting around for one. I have no idea how frequent they are. It's hot, I'm tired, I'm done for today. Thank you for watching this Budapest double episode. And please subscribe.